If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your fucking neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your neck.
What happened next turned this whole thing from heated words into something completely different. The tension that had been building for months suddenly erupted right there on live television. Crawford had been sitting there, totally composed, but when Tank kept pushing and talking over everyone, something shifted. He got up from his chair with this calculated intensity and walked straight up to Tank, no hesitation. Then he gave him this hard shove that echoed through the entire studio.
How does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look? 147? I tapped that chain. You know he going to sleep.
That's when everything went sideways. Tank wasn't about to let that slide. He came back swinging with an actual punch that connected, and suddenly, you had two of boxing's biggest names throwing hands on live TV, while security scrambled to break it up. Nobody saw this coming. This wasn't some manufactured drama for the cameras. This was pure, unfiltered rage happening in real time, and every boxing fan watching knew they were witnessing something special. The kind of moment that changes everything and gets people talking for months. Imagine two of the sport's most dangerous fighters going at each other completely unscripted on national television. This wasn't some social media beef or promotional stunt to build hype for a fight that might never happen. This was the real deal. Raw emotion, genuine bad blood, all captured on camera for the world to see. The kind of authentic drama that boxing fans dream about but rarely get to witness firsthand.
A chance to be around Floyd Mayweather. He been calling me now, he texting me now. The whole last camp, I was in Floyd's gym. He closing down the gym for me. I'm working pads with him. He working pads with me and my brother Kelvin. Me and Kelvin sparring in front of Floyd, like he coaching us. Like now it's like, damn, Shakur, Terence, and Floyd now. So, man, I honestly think that's God. Like, if you really look at it, what professional fighters out here just have a strong circle that's strong as like ours. Like you got the best prospect. You got Shakur, then you got Terence Crawford, and then outside of our circle, we got Floyd Mayweather also tapping in with us. You know what I mean? Like, our circle is really crazy. It's really crazy, and it shows to where when we fight, it's always our opponents. It's like, it's never a close fight. Even with Terence, it's never a close fight.
When something like this happens, it doesn't just create buzz. It completely rewrites the conversation and makes fights that seemed impossible suddenly feel like they have to happen.
There was some kind of crazy trash talk with Gervonta and Terence Crawford recently. And one of the things that I've always kind of noticed is most of the time, one of the things that's kind of off limits is families. Like you usually don't.
Yes.
You know,
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. And so I wanted to kind of understand what your thoughts was about like some of those comments that was made. I think it was about Terence's wife. What, like in your mind, where, because obviously, like, you know, you've been in this sport.
I think Terence Crawford right now in the sport of boxing is the pound for pound best fighter in the sport of boxing right now. It's good to see him in the position that he's in. I think he has a beautiful family. I think he has a beautiful wife, a beautiful queen, a black queen. And there's nothing better than a black woman in this world. That's just my opinion. We're all entitled to our
We're diving deep into what really set these two off. Who came out looking better when the chaos finally stopped, and who's walking away with their reputation intact. But here's what really matters. Fans everywhere are now demanding something that seemed completely out of reach before. A genuine super fight between Tank and Crawford that could deliver on every bit of this intensity we just witnessed. This goes way beyond just another boxing match. We're talking about two fighters from totally different worlds who've never shared the ring, and there are solid reasons why that's been the case. Boxing politics, weight divisions, timing. All the usual complications that keep great fights from happening. Tank owns the lightweight scene, demolishing everyone who steps up to challenge him. Crawford dominates across multiple weight classes, something only the absolute elite can pull off. But tensions have been brewing between their teams for months. Subtle shots on social media, pointed comments in interviews, the pressure kept building until something had to give, and what we saw was just the explosion everyone should have seen coming. Tank's been making noise about jumping up to 147, claiming he can walk through anyone at that weight. He's been putting out training videos, giving bold interviews, basically calling out the entire division. The guy actually said he could knock out Crawford with one shot. Think about the confidence, or maybe foolishness, it takes to say that about one of the best pound-for-pound fighters alive. But that's exactly the kind of statement that gets everyone's attention and forces responses. Crawford stayed quiet through most of this noise, doing what he always does, keeping his composure while everyone else gets emotional. When he did speak up, he reminded people that Tank hasn't really been tested against elite competition the way he has. Even when Crawford was taking his break after becoming undisputed, these two kept this quiet war going. Crawford's approach was always more subtle, more psychological. He didn't need to shout to make his point, which probably frustrated Tank even more. Tank didn't hold back about his feelings. He straight up admitted he doesn't like Crawford as a person. This wasn't about competitive respect or professional rivalry. Tank thought Crawford was arrogant and fake, hiding behind his security team and entourage. He could acknowledge Crawford's skills in the ring, while making it clear he couldn't stand the man himself. That kind of genuine personal dislike is what turns regular competition into something much more dangerous and compelling. The whole thing blew up during what should have been a normal discussion about pound-for-pound rankings. Crawford was sitting there calmly when Tank's name came up, and you could see something change in his expression. Tank started getting louder, trying to talk over everyone and make his case. That's when Crawford decided he'd heard enough and fired back with zero filter. The conversation spiraled from there until words weren't enough anymore. After the dust settled and everyone caught their breath, people started asking who really won that exchange. Most observers gave it to Crawford without much debate. His measured responses cut right through Tank's louder approach, showing cracks in Tank's usual confidence. But more than that, this whole confrontation pushed a fight that seemed impossible into the spotlight where it couldn't be ignored anymore. The controversy keeps coming back to that fight with Lamont Roach. What happened that night damaged Tank's reputation in ways that are still affecting him. Most people watching thought Roach did enough to win, but Tank got the decision anyway. That fight raised serious questions about Tank's invincibility, for the first time. Questions that Crawford would later use against him when the opportunity came up. The moment that really changed how people see Tank happened in the 9th round. Roach caught him clean and dropped him hard, with a combination nobody expected to land. Tank went down, but somehow it wasn't ruled a knockdown. Tank's explanation made things worse. He claimed hair grease got in his eyes and blinded him temporarily. Most people saw that as a weak excuse for getting caught by a better fighter on that particular night. Anyone watching could see Tank's glove hit the canvas. That's a knockdown by any definition, but the referee didn't count it. The controversy just added fuel to the fire of people questioning whether Tank was as unstoppable as everyone thought. Roach looked sharper throughout that fight, working harder and landing cleaner shots. The official decision didn't change what people saw with their own eyes. Crawford didn't stay quiet about what he witnessed. He called it exactly like he saw it on television, saying Roach got robbed and Tank got exposed. Crawford labeled Tank as overhyped and under-delivering when it counted against real competition. Coming from another elite fighter, that public criticism hit Tank where it hurt most. His carefully built image as an unstoppable force, and Tank couldn't come back with a strong defense because too many people had seen what really happened. Instead of support from the boxing community, Tank faced more criticism and questions about his legitimacy at the top level. His weak response, admitting he could have done more, just confirmed what his critics were already saying. That damaged reputation is probably why a Crawford fight isn't just talk anymore. It's become something that needs to happen. Tank desperately wants to redeem himself and silence everyone questioning his career. There's really only one way to do that convincingly. Face the best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, and prove he belongs at that level. His entire legacy might depend on making that statement. Crawford played this smart by not completely shutting the door, but not opening it wide either. He suggested Tank should fight Keyshawn Davis first as a test. And Keyshawn isn't some easy fight or tune-up opponent. He's a legitimate threat with real skills who could beat a lot of ranked fighters. Crawford was basically saying, prove yourself first before you get the big opportunity. It's a challenge Tank can't easily dismiss. Keyshawn has serious backing from Floyd Mayweather and trains with high-level fighters like Shakur Stevenson. He's even been sparring with Crawford himself. This isn't a stepping stone fight. It's designed to expose any weaknesses Tank might still have. If Tank takes this challenge and wins impressively, the hype for a Crawford fight would reach levels we rarely see in boxing. But if he backs down or makes excuses, all those doubts become permanent questions about his career. Floyd Mayweather adds another layer to this whole situation. His influence is everywhere, even though he and Tank aren't on good terms right now. Floyd trains Keyshawn, has history with Crawford, and Tank is still trying to escape Floyd's shadow. Floyd used to be the guy who could make these fights happen with one phone call, but now he's watching from the sidelines. When the Tank-Crawford feud went viral, Floyd made it clear which side he supported. It wasn't Tank. Tank took Floyd's comments personally and made the mistake of bringing Crawford's family into the trash talk. That crossed a major line in boxing, and Floyd sided with Crawford publicly. Tank lost crucial support from his former mentor. The feud between these two is just getting started and will probably get messier before they settle it in the ring, but Crawford's main focus isn't actually on Tank, despite all the media attention this beef is getting. He's locked in on Canelo Alvarez, a fight that could define his entire career and legacy. This is about becoming a three-time undisputed champion, something that would put him in the history books forever. While Tank swings wildly on social media and in interviews, Crawford stays disciplined and focused on what really matters. He's not avoiding Tank or scared of him, he's just not letting the noise distract him from the biggest opportunity of his life. The tension with Canelo is already building with psychological games being played at the highest level. Crawford knows this is his chance to make legitimate history in a sport that doesn't give out legendary status easily. That kind of laser focus makes everything else, including Tank's antics and social media games, seem small by comparison. The true measure of any champion isn't just about winning fights. It's about choosing which battles define your legacy.